All right, everybody, want to take a second to talk to you about an amazing sponsor. We have an amazing relationship with RayAllen.com. Ray Allen is a one-stop shop for everything dog, not just working dogs. Everything dog that you need, you can go down there, check them out, RayAllen.com. Awesome people. They got everything you need.
Another one of our favorite partnerships is with Dogtra. They've been with us from the start. Great collars, great ball poppers, great GPS tracking, big dog, small dog, bark collars, everything. I got everything like that they have at the kennel. We use it every day. Be sure to head them up, dogtra.com. Listen for the discount code later in the episode.
Hey, guys, it's going to happen. August 16th through the 19th. HITS is coming back. The HITS K9 Conference in Orlando, Florida, August 16th through the 19th. Get on there. It's the biggest, the best. Check it out. HitsK9.net. HitsK9.net. Get registered now.
Take the guesswork out of making sure you're feeding your working dog correctly by using Kinetic Dog Food. Hit them up at kineticdogfood.com and look them up on the Instagrams at Kinetic Dog Food. Take all the guesswork out and do it right from the beginning.
We love Horizon Structures. Dude, this stuff is so awesome, man. You can get online. You can talk to them. You could build it you want from mild to wild. They'll come bring it to your place, set it down on your pad, hook up your power, hook up your water, and you can put dogs in it that day. If you don't believe me, check out some guys like Justin Rigney's got a great setup there. Ask him. Check him out, horizonstructures.com.
All right, we are back. Working Dog Radio, broadcasting the bite. I am Ted Summers from Tulsa, Oklahoma. With me, as always, is Eric Stambro from Canton, Ohio. Eric, what's up?
Look at my hair, dude. I just got out of the shower and I've been growing it out. It's like a frizz ball, man. It looks ridiculous. Got my old man glasses on because I'm gonna read some shit. So, usual stuff. I got a bunch of little bouncy Springer Spaniels in the kennel.
I saw that.
It's really weird. I can't remember if we talked about this at the last episode we recorded, but I sold all the dual purpose dogs in my kennel, like boom, 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 boom. Some of them trained, some of them not, some a little bit of training. And I had just a little bit of time where I know I needed like one or two more. So I said, from our guy Milan over in Germany, he said, I got these Springers from my buddy in Italy. I said, yeah, I'll take them over because I could probably flip them pretty quick. And we messed up the shipping, and there was like 2 weeks longer than it was supposed to take before the shipping date. And in that 2 weeks, I sold 9 more dual-purpose police dogs. And I had 0. Well, I had 1. And so now I got to scramble when I get done with the seminar I'm about to teach at. When I get done, not scramble, but I'm meeting with vendors and getting some dogs in. But I only have 8 kennels, so I can only get, I only get 4, 5, 6 at a time at the most. So today is Tuesday, March 29th. Tomorrow afternoon, I got to be up at Muscatatuck Urban Training Center in Indiana and to check in. And then I'm teaching a seminar, the same one I did last year, which was a mixture of search and rescue people and law enforcement teams up there at that facility. It's pretty cool. But I'm hoping, because this morning was 12 degrees.
Degrees?
Degrees, 12. So tomorrow's supposed to be 71, if that tells you how screwed up Ohio is.
What
12,
the fuck?
71. So
Dude.
Indiana's the same, I think. I think they're the same. We'll see what happens up there. What's going on in Tulsa?
Well, spring is officially here. I didn't track today. Well, I had a handler school end on Friday, and I took half a day off this weekend. And then I had a fucking month-long starting one starting today. So, yeah. Kevlar's going home. Kevlar went home to his handler, and they're back, so they're with me for a month. So yeah, it's gonna be good. And then I've got kind of like intermittent handler schools going in between now and then before I like start their actual handler schools. So I got a lot of whole local handlers. I got about 5 local handlers that are coming in and helping train their dog, like 1 or 2 days a week. And once they're get close to the point where I can put them to like their school, then they'll come and do the full school. So I've got that, and we hired another intern, actually another trainer. And so those guys are taking care of the pets while I'm taking care of the police dogs. And so we're kind of doing the thing that you do, like, mornings we do one thing, afternoons we do the other. During the handler schools, though, it's all day. Like it's from fucking 9 to 3 all day. And so, yeah, we were supposed to track today, but I don't know. the wind here. I mean, it's in the state song where the wind comes sweeping down the plains, right? I mean, and everybody's like, "Oh, what's Oklahoma like?" I'm like, hot, flat, and windy, because it was 85 degrees and the wind was coming out of the south at about 30 miles an hour constant today. It's fucking brutal. So when it's like that, I like to work on proximity alerts with handlers. So we kind of do a track into a crosswind and get those nice super big head throws. And so the handlers can see it and they're like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah, just like drug searches." So they it's been good. Other than that, we've got several single purpose dogs in the works. I think I'll have another 4 or 5 and a couple more dual purpose dogs going out by June. So we're fucking busy. I got new
That's great.
AstroTurf for the outside, so I'm not
Ooh,
doing grass.
look at you.
Yeah, I'm doing AstroTurf. I'm not mowing this shit. I'm just gonna go out there and like have somebody scoop poop, and then we're gonna spray Wizzy Wash on it a couple days, like every other day. And
Oh yeah,
call
that's
it
what
good.
we do. Yeah, at
Call
the
it
pet
good.
facility.
Yep, and yeah, that Wheezy Wash should fucking sponsor us as much as we use that stuff. I have buckets of that. So other than that, like I renewed my state certification here, or state accreditation the other day because it runs out in April, so I had to renew that. So Torchlight does have the CLEAT accreditation for teaching law enforcement canine thingies, so
There you
stuff like so. If you're hearing this and you want to get a list, shoot me an email and I'll send you the list of what we do. So, yeah, other than that, what do we got going on tonight?
Well, I'm going to real quick comment on a couple things you said real quick. One, so we use Wizzy Wash at the daycare, and my manager Amanda figured out that if you have Rufflin kennels, the Rufflin crates, the white ones
Right.
can get a little dirt, grimy on with dogs and everything,
Right.
and you scrub them and clean them. But she put the Wizzy Wash thing on her power sprayer, and says
yeah.
it gets rid of all that little grime.
So
Nice
we
little
do that.
pro tip, maybe.
Yeah, and we use hot water. So I hook
Yeah.
it up to the hot waters line, and I use Wizzy Wash, and you can clean some stuff with that. Faux
Yeah.
show. My interns there, or my kennel guys are like, yeah, this is the jam right here. So yeah, that is the way to do it.
And I'll tell you a real quick story that's and a lot of handlers out here can relate to it, and it gets it's kind of one of the frustrating things of dealing with animals and dogs, is and how much even the highest trained dogs can revert to Mother Nature. So I trained a dog a couple years ago, really nice Dutch Shepherd, I really like this dog. His handler left his agency to go take a higher paying agency job, which is cool, like $15 an hour pay raise. So it's pretty significant. So they paired the dog up with a new handler. We just finished that school a couple of weeks ago. Everything went great. Great dog, good kid, handling him. He calls me the other day. They, I think it was a warrant subject, runs into a house. They go after him, send the dog in the house. They clear. When they're getting up there, they hear all this commotion going on. They're expecting to see the dog smoking the dude. He comes in the room, and the guy, I think, was hiding in the closet. I think the dog is under the bed, fucking his dude's cat up. and the guy was so frustrated, and I'm like, dude, my second dog Willie, between me and his first handler, had about 125 street bites. And that son of a bitch still killed 2 cats while the dude was in the room that he was supposed to be biting. 2 times that happened. And then a third time he chased a cat out of the room and it jumped up and scratched me across the face. And he damn near knocked me down the steps. So yeah, Mother Nature. Very frustrating for that kid. He goes, "Can we reenact it? Can you get a cat?" I'm like, dude, I'll get something that looks like a cat, maybe on a fucking string, and pull that bitch under the bed and see what we can do. But I'm not throwing a cat, some random cat in my building, to reenact that shit. So, anyways, frustrating dealing with dogs. Sometimes they remind you every once in a while that they are predators, like animal predators. So, anyways. Tonight, our guest this is his second time being on the show. Last time was a couple years ago. And we talked to him because he had a charity that had really just kicked off and things were really just starting to go for him. We said, listen, when all this really blows up, we'll have you back on and help you continue the momentum and getting things going. So joining us from K9 Hurricane's Heroes is Marshall Mirarchi. Marshall, how are you, buddy?
Good. How you guys doing?
Who's that sitting next to you right there?
Well, that's
Exactly.
the star Hurricane himself.
That's the world
Yeah,
famous
that's who
dog.
everybody
man.
wants to see. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. We all three of us can walk away. We can just let that thing play with
Yeah,
Hurricane
every
on
day
there.
It's every day of my life. I'm very used to it by now.
So yeah, no shit. So when we had you on before, we were talking about this before we started recording it. Your episode before was really well received. A lot of people liked it, and so this was perfect timing because, dude, I've been seeing you everywhere. We'll talk about it. You just won an award. Is kind of one of the reasons why this is going forward and really picking up. And the timing is perfect for you with the reward and the charity going on. And I see it all over social media. I see you doing a lot of news stuff, a lot of interviews, and a lot of press. So it's pretty awesome to see it, man. I'm like, hey, we know that dude. We know both of them dudes.
Right.
So what we're going to do is just to remind people that didn't listen to the first episode, talk about like just a little bit like where you're from, what your law enforcement career is, when you start talking about Hurricane or your job before you left and everything. We'll talk. It'll remind everybody what's going on.
Yeah. So thank you guys for having me back on. You kept your word. You said if the charity takes off and things are good, we'll have you back and you can come talk about it. So thank you for that. Yeah, I think it's been a crazy 2 years since I was on. Like you said, we could get into it later, but we just had the Animals in War and Peace ceremony at the U.S. Capitol. It was one of the best nights of my life. Just a bunch of dog people just talking about their stories, telling all the wonderful things they do. It was amazing. But so for anyone who doesn't know, Hurricane's the Secret Service dog that stopped the fence jumper in 2014 when President Obama and his family were right there inside the house. So all these years later, we're still around talking about it. I'm from Springfield, Delaware County, right outside of Pennsylvania. Just grew up playing sports. We talked about this last time. Went to Kutztown and played baseball there. We went to 2 College World Series. Wanted to be a pro baseball player. When that didn't work out, tour number 2 was Secret Service. So I went right in. I did criminal justice in college. Obviously, I knew I wanted to do police, law enforcement, mill, something around there. I wasn't sure at the time. I always wanted to be Secret Service, so that was what I was hoping for. But, there was always a possibility that wouldn't work out. I'd do something else. But I went right in out of college. I actually patrolled in D.C. for about a year, then went on to our SWAT team, and then from there into our tactical Canine unit, which is an extension of our SWAT team that you have to do first. Hey, sorry, buddy. So I took that route, and then a couple years into that, Hurricane had his big moment, and then we talked about this before, but he took a beating from the individual who jumped the fence. So I think it shorted his career a little bit. So he went into kind of an early retirement, but we kind of use that to raise awareness for police dogs, military dogs, medical bills, how all that works. Just trying to educate everyone, use our platform to, use it for good and use all the great things that were happening to us to give back just to the canine community in general. So that was 2014. Here we are in 2022. He's still strong and well, which is like amazing. So I couldn't be happier about that. He's had another checkup and he's good. But here we are.
That's crazy. That 8 years, man. From then. So he's what, 11 now?
He'll be 13 in
13.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
And for a Malinois, a working Malinois, that's old.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
yeah.
He's still trying. That's the thing about dogs that age too. They think they can still.
Oh,
And they try. And you're like, dude, chill. What are you doing? Stop jumping off of shit.
mine, he's over here in my office, like next to me. He turns 12 this year, and it's the same thing. Like, he still acts like he's a 4-year-old, and like now I've changed. I'm like, hey, like let's not jump off of shit, and let's not chase the ball for an hour. Let's relax a little bit. He's like, no, I'm good. Let's not. No. So half of my job now is just keeping him from fucking hurting himself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I got the kitty gates up everywhere, just this whole same thing. Try and walk up steps, not make it. Try and walk down. So I'm, you know, doggy proofing or old man doggy proofing the house just to make sure he just stays on the one floor. And if he goes up or down the stairs, that that I carry him, because he won't make it all the way up or all the way down. If it's up, he kind of gets stuck halfway, and if it's down, he gets about 2 steps and then does the slide. So it's just his hips were why he retired, and it's kind of progressively gotten worse. And after we do things like this, we actually get all kinds of feedback, or we end up trying something different. Somebody always has another different thing: water therapy, acupuncture, the edible treats for the dogs, all kinds of different stuff. Dasaquin. We've kind of tried everything at this point, but I think it's just father time sitting in, but he still can run around good. It's really just steps.
Yeah. So did you try the water therapy with him?
Oh yeah. Yep. We did it. We did it right around here a bunch of times. The only problem with that is you have to be consistent and keep it going. And that's, finding time to go a couple days a week is, over and over, the driving and commuting. It's tough. When he does it, it absolutely works. But yeah, I need to get better and more consistent with getting them there.
What are they? I'm just curious because I've never done it, and my buddy Aaron Taylor that owns Ridgeside Canine, I have Ridgeside Canine Ohio, a subsidiary of there, and he owns the original one, and his facility in Winchester, they have a giant saltwater pool, and one of the things they're going to be doing is water therapy. Is it just getting those limbs moving, or what is it?
Oh yeah, they have like it almost looks like a big tub with a treadmill basically going underneath, and they just do the resistance training. They tailor it to the dog, and so for him, I either have to hold a tug the whole time up front, or they have like this rubber stamp thing that goes up against the glass. So you put peanut butter on, and they'll just keep walking to lick that thing the entire time. So that's kind of how I keep him going on it. Hey.
I can relate to that with the peanut butter. If you put peanut butter up on a window, I'll probably walk until I can lick it.
Yeah, I was like that. Yeah, that would be the same thing. Or a beer on a string, right?
Yeah.
Right. Following it. But yeah, it's like a same thing. The treadmill, you go a couple minutes on, a couple minutes off, and just the resistance, builds up the stabilizer muscles. They do a nice massage on the hips, and they do a good routine. So it definitely works. It's just like anything. It's like rehabbing for a person almost. Like you got to be super active with it, every couple days. It's just like anything else with life. It's tough to get that all done, but we're getting them out a decent amount.
That's awesome. So when he becomes kind of famous there on the fence jumper, he's 4 at that time about?
No,
he's older. He's 6.
Yeah, I got him when
5?
he was 3, so that would be 6.
Wow, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, let the old man get in there.
Yeah, so I was telling you guys before, he was titled overseas before I got him, and I did not know that. But going through training, first time, I told this from before, if anyone remembers, but never had a dog before. First day of canine training was my first day, holding the dog leash, putting the harness on, and we're out in the yard doing all the stuff. He's hitting all the jumps, he's healing, and I just didn't know. I just figured they learned that quick. No idea.
You're like, I'm a fucking awesome trainer.
You're like, I was made for this. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I can't believe I was so worried about this. Everyone talks about, it's months to, perfect it and do all that. And I'm like day one, just knocking it out of the park. The other handlers are rolling around, they have green dogs, are getting bit, dogs running away. Like, I was like, I must just be good at this. But we had 6 dogs. They were all green. He was the only one. He was fully titled. So they told me at about the end of day 2 to stop strutting around, that I have a trained dog. They just felt bad and wanted to build my confidence, but then it got too high. So they kicked me back down.
Yeah, up to this point in your life, you've been a pretty good success at everything you've done. So you're like, yeah, this is natural, right? I mean,
yeah, it was like, it's kind of like an athletic thing. I don't know, kind of just like going through the police academy, all different stuff. It was just adding another instrument at this point. So I was like, yeah, it's not too bad. You tell the dog to heel, he heels. Tell him to run up the ramp, he does. I'm like, I don't see what's so hard about all that.
Yeah, quit your bitching, guys. So
Right.
it's funny because I was thinking about you the other day. We brought this up in the previous episode, is that I have found, and I'm sure Ted's the same way, we find that handlers who grew up athletic, playing sports of some sort, and tend to be smoother with the leash, smoother with their footwork, and a lot easier to train. I've obviously I've had some handlers that were really good that just didn't play sports growing up, but I definitely see a huge difference in even as they get older, like in their 40s. You can tell. You get a guy who's maybe on a second dog, you can tell that when he's more athletic. Like I had a guy that I trained one time that never played sports in his life. Dude could not throw the ball 10 feet. Couldn't do it. He would throw it straight into the ground or backwards behind him. And I'm like, dude, come on. I didn't play baseball growing up. I'm like, come on, man. You just got to toss it, But Ted, do you find that? Do you see a difference in kids that grew up playing sports versus not?
Yeah, I've had some guys come through that were like football or baseball players, and they seem to be like I said, like a little smoother as hand-eye coordination. The one thing that I do find that we've talked about this, I think, before, but people that are younger than me, so like anywhere, like, I'm 42, 41 or 2. So like anything like high 30s and lower, their timing is fucking awesome, right? And any guy like older than me, no matter how long they've handled a dog, their timing is terrible unless they've worked on it. And I don't remember who we talked to about it one time, like off mic, and they're like, well, think about it, it's video games. I'm like, no shit. And I was like, that makes sense. Like, that makes a ton of sense. Like, why? Like, my interns now, like, one of them's like 24, the other one's like 35, the other one's like 30 something, and the other one's like 35. And their timing is fucking impeccable. Like, I give them a clicker, I show them a little bit, they're working with puppies, and all of a sudden they're like, shaping behaviors and stuff in like 3 days. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Then I try and like explain timing to some dudes that are, older than me, and they're like, I don't know. Yeah. They're like, I don't know what you mean. So I'm like, you've never played Mario Brothers, clearly. But I find that that's a huge advantage. So like this generation, or like the younger than me or whatever, like Gen X, like those guys tend to be really, really good canine handlers because of timing. But and you combine timing and athleticism, you get pretty good fucking canine handlers. So
yeah, and then decoying as well, right? I mean, that's
yes,
huge. I mean, that
yes.
that's handling especially for me, since he was already trained and good with everything, I spent 90% of my time actually decoying because we were working on the dogs that weren't trained. And that, especially the instructors, that was just as important, if not more, your contributions back to the team. So when playing sports, I mean, if it ever came into play, it kind of did, through the academy, through SWAT school, all that stuff. But I think the physical, just the craziness you put your body through all day in that bike suit, moving around, that just being conditioned and knowing how to move and not gas yourself out, that was huge for me. I got super lucky with that.
Yeah. And, I still decoy a bunch.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I think I'm good at decoying, and I'm not as great about teaching decoys. I know that's one of Ted's things. He's really good. I am not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to explain the footwork and the way I'm catching, the way I'm doing it and moving it, and I'm showing them, and then it doesn't really translate. So I don't. When we have decoy, like anybody I know that has decoy schools, I never go teach there because I'm not good at it. But what do you find out, Ted? What do you find with that?
You have to be athletic. And this is what I find too. Like a lot of times I get dudes that are like with their first dogs that are like in SWAT or that are, athletic, and they try and muscle the dog around. I'm like, hey, like it's not going to work. Like, I get it. Like, he ain't as big as you, but I promise you keep fucking with him. My grandfather told me, you keep yanking on that line, that chainsaw is going to start. And dudes they want to try and force the dogs to do something. And I'm like, that ain't going to work. And even when you're in a suit and decoying, like, you have to have a certain amount of athletic ability. And I find that not necessarily, I find like endurance guys that have been like competed like endurance sports tend to be really good at decoying. And it's definitely not a size thing, because I've met some female decoys that are tiny that are phenomenal. And then I've met a bunch of like French ring guys that are like little jockeys. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but they're like super athletic. They're like little soccer players, and their footwork is phenomenal. Obviously, because they're fucking world level, or not like world, but they're like really, really well rounded soccer players. But it definitely helps with the endurance, and it definitely helps with like proper timing and everything else. But yeah, I tend to find that a background in that. And everyone asks, I had somebody ask us today, they're like, oh, you know, where can I learn to decoy? I'm like, just, you have to do it. Like, you have to hunt, you just have to do it. There's no other. And same thing, I was telling my canine handler today, and this is like his second official day of being a canine handler. And I'm like, look, his leash work is terrible. And if you're listening to this, I told you that today. So it's not like and it'll get better. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm just like, they're coachable, and it's not that big of a deal, but I'm like, it is a skill set that you can't teach. Like, you just have to do it. Like, I can sit here all day long and tell you how to handle a line or how to decoy, but it's not gonna. They're like, can I watch any videos? I'm like, no, watch yourself decoying. That's what you should do. Those are the videos you should watch. Yourself decoying. That's what you'll learn the most. Like, yeah, I fucked that up. Or I watch myself handling all the time, like just handling detection dogs, and I learn more about like what not to do that way, because I used to have GoPros running 8 hours a day, and I've got terabytes of footage that I've never posted. I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that.
You got lucky on there.
I got lucky. And you know, one of our other guests who is a stickler on that shit, Anthony Moore, we had him back on. He's part of the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics, and he is a stickler on line handling, and he is also a very good decoy. But he started life as a rodeo clown, or like as a bullfighter. And talk about athletic, and I'm like, yeah, that's why you're not scared of working dogs. Yeah, fucking fighting bulls. So it does translate very well, though, for sure.
You know, it's funny you talk about the muscle, and I think I talked about it the last episode. I can't remember that I started doing jujitsu about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I've gone like 25 times, and I'm making all the mistake that every brand new white belt does, trying to muscle everything. And I'm like, it's been 2 minutes. Why am I so tired and I can't breathe at all? And I feel like I'm suffocating. And the guy's like, you can breathe. You're trying to squeeze and tense your muscles and trying to push this and that. So anyways, that you said that, and I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is, because I'm getting the shit beat out of me about 4 times a week. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was the exact comparison I was going to make. Jiu-jitsu and rolling. Like, if you, it's the same thing with the bike suit. You're in there going hard, trying to swim, you'll gas out right away. You know, you learn that first couple times with jiu-jitsu. Like, how's that person laying there on their back, not sweating, not breathing heavy, and they've been going for 20 minutes. And then, you know, you're in there 20 seconds, just completely gassed, trying to muscle everything. So, yeah, it's the same philosophy.
Oh, yeah. The guy I rolled with yesterday never opened his eyes the whole time. And I was like, son of a bitch.
Jesus, that feels good, huh?
I go, I need you to open your eyes so you can see how much I suck at this. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about that poster that's behind you on the wall there, and the award that you just got that has blown up everything for you as far as all the media coverage and everything like that. So stick around. Don't fast forward through it. All the discount codes are down in the bottom of the show notes, and we'll be right back.
HITS K9 Training Conference. This is America's premier canine training seminar, packed to the brim with the world's best instructors and me and Eric, all covering important topics. There's no better place to learn and no better place to network with other handlers, breeders, and trainers. HITS 2022 is being held in Orlando, Florida this year, August 16th through the 19th. And I know how you guys are. Everybody waits at the last minute. And in the post-Rona world, everybody's training budgets are being cut and everybody's deciding whether they're going to be able to get to go or not. So don't wait, because they're not going to have an infinite number of spots, and the price goes up after a certain date. So get signed up as soon as possible. It's in Orlando. We'll see you there. Be sure to hit them up. HITS K9, letter K, number 9.net.
One of the best relationships we have in this podcast and in this industry is with the great people down at Kinetic Dog Food. The story of Kinetic Performance Dog Food is pretty simple. They wanted to make a better premium dog food for the dogs that need it the most. Their goal is to give every working and sporting dog a higher energy level, better performance, and better overall health through superior nutrition. So they formulated a line of food based on what they considered to be the optimal profile of a performance dog. They've done tons of research on this. This isn't their first rodeo. These guys know what they're doing. If you're a kennel, they will come to your kennel. They will see the problems that you have. They will check out what works for the dogs that you have. They're amazing people to work with. They drop ship a pallet right to you if you want. I know a lot of guys that use them. There's a bunch of different formulas on there, and 32K might not be for your dogs. Maybe the 26K works. They can adjust it. They'll give you the right ideas what to do in different parts of the year. Winter's different than summer. It's really a well-run, good dog food company. KineticDogFood.com. Be sure to check them out on social media too, man. They're amazing folks. KineticDogFood.com.
By now, you've probably all heard my story at least once. I'm usually getting tagged by dogs or hurting myself. So this next product is like near and dear to me because I actually use it. Quick Turn by Vet Care. It does great for keeping small things from turning into big ones. I use it at the kennel for clients' dogs that have some issues with skin stuff or have food allergies or have environmental allergies. It works great. Keeps hot spots from making giant hot spots. And it keeps my working dogs who inevitably find magnificent ways to hurt themselves from turning it into a giant vet visit. Stops little issues from becoming big ones. So it comes in a spray, it comes in an ointment, it comes in a dressing. It's great for creating a protective barrier and promoting wound healing. You really only have to use it like once a day. So there's no reason not to have it in the vehicle. Since it's temperature stable, you don't got to worry about it getting hot, getting cold, or anything like that. So put it in your first aid kit or put it in your cabinet. Vetcare.us on the internet. Quick Derm by Vet Care on on Instagram and on Facebook, and then hit them up with the discount code 10WDR for 10% off your first order.
So my entire time that I was a handler or a trainer in law enforcement, the cars at my department, in the departments that I trained, all had American aluminum accessory kennels in the cars. Different cars, man. Dodge Chargers, all Ford models, some Chevys, SUVs, cars, everything. We loved American aluminum accessories. It's a great product, a great company. They've been serving canine law enforcement community for over 20 years. If you check out their website, EZ, that's the letter Z, EZRiderOnline.com. They got testimonials. They got videos on how to. They got a list of everything they have. Just today, we made a post on the Working Dog Radio social media showing a dog that survived a really bad crash because of the American aluminum kennel in the back of the car. Check them out online, guys. EZRiderOnline.com. Just let them do their thing, man. Whatever car you got for your work, your patrol car, get a hold of them, American aluminum accessories, and get the best in the business.
Next up comes training courses online from our friends down at Highland K9 Training, Jason and Aaron Ferguson. So in the post-Rona world, training budgets have been getting cut. People aren't going to be able to travel, whether it be instructors or they be canine handlers and supervisors going somewhere else for training. So Highland has announced a lot of online training courses. One of those that sticks out to me is their police supervisor canine course. And it's no secret that one of the problems with canine tends to be some of the supervision issues. This course is specifically designed for administrators and covers utilization as well as liability and FLSA issues. The course can be taken at your convenience, and you'll receive a certificate of completion at the end. When you go to Tactical Police K9 Training, that's letter K number 9, training.com, and use the discount code WDR30, you'll get 30% off of that course.
All right, everybody, we are back. Working Dog Radio, broadcasting the bite. With us is Marshall Mirarchi from K9 Hurricane's Heroes, former Secret Service dog handler. So in the back on that poster there, you guys just were awarded a Distinguished Service Medal, it looks like, from Animals in War and Peace. Tell us about that organization. Where'd you get the phone call? How'd all this work? Did you know this is a thing? And you talked about that evening was one of the best nights of your life. Kind of get into that for us, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course, I'm all about the memorabilia. So when they had that thing there, I'm like, that's coming home with me.
Yeah,
for sure, especially because it's got the number 1 on there. So he's the first first dog in history to get that. Definitely helps get him in the books for another first. So yeah, I did know about Animals in War and Peace. The reason I knew was from London, actually, when we went in 2019, and he received the PDSA Order of Merit at British Parliament. So, you know, the UK, they've been doing it right. I think 1943 they started. They've been honoring all kinds of animals. You know, they've been doing it forever. They do it every year there. Chris Willingham actually went for his dog Luca, and they received their award. So that's how I started learning about them, just from following him. You know, he's always been an inspiration. Everybody, you know, always knew about Chris and his story with Luca. So I learned about that, and Hurricane kind of followed up and went out to London, and he was the first dog to receive the Order of Merit out in London. So as that happened in 2019, simultaneously back here, Animals in War and Peace was like, why are we going to London to honor our dogs? You know, we need to step it up in the U.S. So Robin Hutton, who runs the organization, she reached out to me and she said, "Have you saw that? You know, we've kind of done something similar here at the Capitol." I'm like, you know, absolutely, I saw it, and this was right before COVID hit. So she was like, you know, would you like to come next year for 2020? We're gonna have the same original medals, the Medal of Bravery that they had, and then she's like, we're gonna have an actual new medal. Hurricane would be the first dog to receive it. So COVID pushed it off. It got bumped a couple times, and we had some other options in the capital, but that was what made it special. London, we were British Parliament. You know, even I would be talking to Robin. I'd be like, yeah, I mean, British Parliament, U.S. Capitol, we got to hold out and do it there again, because they have there's a ton of congressmen and women that get involved with this. They come, they speak, they present the awards. It was amazing. So we were going through it for a while. There's 6 dogs. 3 did the Medal of Bravery, and 3 got the new Distinguished Service Medal. You know, she said, I want Hurricane to be the first dog to get this medal. So yeah, we were kind of just waiting. At the same time, the charity was kicking off, which is, you know, why we started the charity. I wanted to use these things for, you know, a dual platform. The awards are great, but they're just good for him. They don't help the other, you know, all the other dogs. So everyone's so supportive of, you know, I never once, I don't think ever, whether it's a podcast, awards, or even ask, like, can I mention the charity? It's always absolutely do that. You know, everyone's super supportive, especially in the canine field. They know about, you know, the dogs and retirement and medical bills and how important it is to the handlers. So we had the award ceremony there. She didn't tell me I was giving a speech there, though. So I kind of, I'm out in the hallway. Yeah. And it's, you know, other ones I've done, they usually send, like London, they sent the Chief of Special Operations of the Uniform Division, Richard McCauley at the time. He came out, you know, he gives this, you know, somebody from the organization, when you have these big ceremonies, the organization gives a speech, then someone from your work kind of gives the secondary speech and hands it off to you, and you're good to go and can go sit back down. So I'm in the hallway because we had other dogs in there, and he was grounding it. I was like, God, this is tough. They actually had a procession of dogs that walked through. That just set him completely off. So I actually had to, before the ceremony even started, I'm like, yep, I'm the handler out in the hallway. Like, some stuff never changes. You know, he's super great with people, but that dog aggression at work is fine, but outside of work, dog aggression is just one thing that I've never been able to tackle with him. It's always there. So I'm out in the hallway, and she comes out, and I'm like, so there's a lot of people presenting. And she's like, so I'm going to present. Then, you know, the congressman who is sponsoring your award, basically, he'll present. And then same thing, the Secret Service, they sent a ton of people, which was great. They sent instructors, a lot of my old bosses that have now climbed all the way to the top, that when I left were sergeants and lieutenants, and now they're assistant chiefs and deputies. So it was great seeing all them and catching up. But now the assistant chief came, and she's like, so he'll give his speech, and then you'll go up and you'll give your speech. I'm like, oh, you never told me that. So sometimes those are better, like to just wing them, like not preparing. You can't mess, you just I was like, all right, well, it's too late now to even think anything. So whatever comes into my head when I get up there, I'm going to roll with. But of course, I put it on for this. So this is Distinguished Service Medal 001. So you can see it there. So yeah, it's super cool. Very nice. So I have the Parliament one and the U.S. Capitol one, and he was the first dog to actually win both. So hopefully, in 100 years, if this is still going on, everyone who follows behind will be able to be like, hey, it was the first one to do that. So yeah, amazing night. All my Secret Service buddies came to support me. All my old instructors. It was super special for sure. And being at the Capitol with, especially everything that's gone on there lately, just being there for something, super positive, all about the dogs. Everybody's in a good mood. It was amazing for sure.
So who has a nicer or who has a cooler building, Capitol or Parliament?
So they're both just so massive. It almost depends where you're at. Like I was always at the White House, which is, just one big building. You got the main mansion, East Wing, West Wing. When you're at the Parliament, Congress, it's they're just massive. Several blocks, several different buildings. The Senate's in one side, the House is in the other for Congress, and then of course they have the Tundra, the main chamber. The thing about British Parliament, it feels more historic because it's just, that was my first time in London. That was amazing as well. They actually had us on Good Morning Britain that morning. So just walking around the streets of London, everyone's, it's the hurricane from the show. And I was like, all right, cool. Day of fame in another country, but
yeah,
being at the Capitol, this is my country. So that's what, they were both special, but obviously being here in the U.S. it was the most special. And the Capitol buildings I always worked, whatever it is, 15 blocks up the street. And I've never actually, been inside of any of those buildings walking around. We're either parked outside with a Canine, or if they're going back and forth, or we're on the street corner. So that was actually my first time, being in DC 15 years, the first time inside there. So super special.
That's really cool. I bet. And that Parliament building's, what do you think, Ted? 500 years old, 400? I mean, depends if they've moved it, but that's got to be just old as shit.
In England?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. I don't know. Old. Well, I
I
can look it up.
Me on the spot.
No,
Yeah,
I don't know. I should
don't
know
know
that shit.
Yeah.
I'm a history guy, but I don't. So that's really cool, man. Prior to the fence jumper, a lot of people around the country probably didn't even really know that Secret Service had dogs, and like when we had you on before there, we're not going to talk about kennel numbers. We're not going to talk about this and some things that they do. How do they feel about the spotlight kind of coming around to them? It's kind of opened up a light on the Secret Service dog program.
Yeah, it sure has. And, they've been super supportive. Just the showing they had at the Capitol was amazing. The Assistant Chief gave, super heartfelt speech. It was awesome. The thing is, like, the dogs, if you're in PR, everybody loves dogs. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And I've just to see the, evolution of how it's went for us, the EOD program with the bomb dogs, it's been around for a while, but, our apprehension dogs pretty much came, when the threat of suicide bombers became a thing, that's kind of what sparked the canine program to come about. And in the beginning, everything's classified, how many odors the bomb dog can spit, the ranges for the working dogs, where we're at on the complex. But yeah, I think, all right, buddy, you can get down. That was pretty long, right?
Yeah,
it was about
it was
half
good.
an hour. Yeah, that's about as much as I get them. So yeah, things kind of, at first it was, people I think were like asking what happened to the dog. So I don't think it was necessarily the bite and the magnitude of it. It was that it was captured live on Fox News because they have their cameras right there on Pebble Beach that, I guess they're supposed to turn off at night, but we all know they never do.
Right.
So it's worked out good for me because I got some footage of the incident. But from what I was told, the the Secret Service dispatch was just overwhelmed with people calling, wanting to know if the dogs were okay. So that was like, for me to get that call in the morning, just, how we are. It's us and our dogs, and you go out and you do what you do, and you don't know if other people care or appreciative. Kind of people thank you when they see you walk by, but you don't really, you don't know how much they know, what the dogs go through, and what kind of work they put in and how rigorous training is. So, that night when he got the crap beat out of him, taking him to the ER, wake up the next morning and got a call from one of my bosses at the time, and he just said, man, people are calling in all over the country who saw that clip, and they want to know if the dog's okay. So I can't speak for the Secret Service at the time, but I think it was one of those, hey, we have to, get out there and do something. And, at the time, we don't talk to press or do anything like that. It's a federal agency. Obviously, there's a ton of rules, and rightfully so. But, they hit us up and said, come over to headquarters and let's get some pictures of the dog. First we went to the vet, obviously, make sure they were okay. Again, we took them to the ER, to an animal hospital in DC that night. But then in the morning, we made sure to take them to our vet that, they know everything about them. So they'll be able to pick up on anything. And after that, we went to headquarters and took some pictures, and the Secret Service, came out with a statement, Hurricane and Jardin are okay. And it just kind of kept going. So it was, super lucky to be in that place at that time. And the fact that the public was so worried about, my pup and the other pup, that was, as a handler, that was super special for me.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they used their real names. They didn't put out a pseudonym.
Yeah, right. So that was kind of, I took the picture with my cell phone, actually. If you, there's the one picture, it's at headquarters, there's a Secret Service flag, an American flag, and we have the two pups that were involved right there. And I can't remember if Instagram was out at the time, but I think Facebook and some of these Twitter maybe, they definitely got them up there and put out the statements, and then that just generated more questions. So a couple months later, they kind of came to us and were like, the people want to know about it all stemmed from this incident. They ended up doing a presentation where the Secret Service director gave Hurricane the Medal of Merit. And I thought that would just be it. He had his incident, he gets his award, that they get, and that would be done. And the public interest really sparked most of it. And they ended up, putting out that Secret Service Dogs book that featured Hurricane, obviously. So I did interviews with the author for that. And that was separate from the Secret Service. But again, so many things were either classified or just not something we want the public to know. So in the beginning, I would sit with someone from public relations and sit with, a high ranking agent, just make sure, everything that we talked about for my protection too, if you know what you can and can't say, but at the same time, you don't want to, luckily I didn't have any slip ups, but if you did, they were there to make sure that we didn't venture off into, something that we weren't supposed to be talking about. And then after a couple of weeks of interviews, they were like, all right, you kind of have this, we're good with everything and how it's going down. You know where your left and right limits are. And, we did that. And then the book happened. And then from there, it just kept, trickle down effect, and the book led to more PR. And then that's when he's kind of started to feel like he was going to be retiring. And that's when we had so many opportunities to do so many things, and I didn't want to just be working all the time and not be able to spend his glory years with him. So that's kind of what led to where we are now, and the charity and all the other things we're doing.
That's awesome. Ted, you look something up while we were talking?
Yeah, I got the answer. It's Westminster Palace. It was built it's 1,006 years old.
Jesus.
There we go. What did we say for when this was?
I said like 500 years, not even close.
It's 1,000 years old. It was built in like 1006, something fucking ridiculous. It was built in 1016.
Wow.
Dude, I'm just telling you.
Before I went over there, I did all my research to make sure if anyone asked me on because I was doing all these British TVs. I'm like, I don't want to be, put on the spot. So I studied the whole time, leading up to it about Parliament and everything. But obviously, you can see 2 years later, I don't remember any of it.
Oh, the fucking Yanks don't know anything about their
As
history.
soon as I
They're
said
like,
500, I'm like,
whatever.
that's dumb. That's not even
Yeah.
that's not even close. There's
It's old.
wigs that old over there.
For sure.
So, before we go take our next break, I think I meant to ask you this on the last time you're on. So, as a Secret Service guy or as a dog guy, is the White House a good duty station?
Oh yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it's the best. It's roving around was amazing too. You know, we did just right before he retired, we did work the RNC and DNC. So, get all the team together, load up the K9 vans. You know, we drove to Cleveland, did the entire RNC out there, the full week. You know, drove all the way to Philly at the time, did the whole DNC. You know, you have the whole team on the road. You got the dogs with you. It is great to be able to roam around and to change the scenery. But the White House is why you join the Secret Service. Obviously, you can go to any police department or work anywhere in the country. You obviously are choosing that you want to be in Washington, D.C., Capitol Police, Secret Service. You want to be there on those stages. So, of course, the White House is where at least I always wanted to be. And that's pretty much what led me into Canine. Was the same thing. I wanted to be at the White House. I wanted to be on SWAT. If anything happens, you want to be a part of it. That's why you sign up, just like anything else. And we had a fence jumper jump out, and guy was running across the north lawn. I didn't have a canine at the time, so I basically ran out and tackled the guy. Swung my rifle up over my shoulder and did, no technique, just straight up, stop forward progression. And at the time, the canine handler came out right behind me. He's got, as I'm down there tussling around with the guy, I look up and he's just got the dog on the lead, just waiting to send him in if I need to break or whatever. And that's when I was like, that's what I need to be doing. I want to be on that stage with the dog and not out here rolling around by myself. So that's what led to it all. But yeah, the White House is absolutely where you want to be.
That's cool. That's good to hear. And do they feed you when you're working?
Yeah, officially no. But if you know the right times to walk past the chef and you make friends. So I'll say they won't feed you at first, but once just like anything else, you start meeting the staff and all right, the chef makes Saturday morning. I know he always makes those breakfast burritos around 7:30, and by 8, any that are left over are kind of just down there. So, you learn the routine real quick.
That'd be nice. That would definitely keep me around for sure. Food.
Yep.
So we're going to go ahead and take our next break. We come back, we're going to talk about K9 Hurricane's Heroes, the charity that spawned from all of this stuff and the great things they're doing and what the mission is. So stick around and we will be right back. All right. We love the Perkinsons down in North Carolina at Highland K9 Training. They are great people, great trainers. They got a good business model. They're awesome folks. We've been with them for a long time. They're also super smart, and they understand that a lot of agencies are struggling to have manpower. So they're not sending people away for training. You guys have been there. You put in, denied, lack of manpower. So they've created an online course section of their website, tacticalpolicek9training.com. You get on there under training, the online course. But here's the best thing is they offer a supervisor, K9 supervisor course, which we know a lot of police K9 supervisors don't get to go to training. They don't know as much as they should. Right here online, the course discusses topics such as proper selection of dogs and handlers, proper deployment, effective allocation and utilization, as well as liability and the FLSA issues, which we know is where all the legal stuff comes from, interdepartmental. The course can be taken at your convenience, and you will receive a certificate of completion at the end. They're offering an amazing discount, guys. 30% off using the discount code WDR30. It's a no-brainer. If you're a police supervisor and you guys have manpower issues and you can't go, get on tacticalpolicek9training.com under the training tab. Get on that supervisor's course, man. I'm telling you, it's a smart decision.
Another one of our favorite partnerships with the podcast here is the one and only Dogtra. The Dogtra guys have been producing some amazing tools in the dog training world for a long time. Everything from e-collars, GPS tracking, ball trainers. If it's electric and you use it with a dog, they've probably done it. They're the best. They are revolutionizing the way you communicate with the dog. I use it daily, whether I'm using pets. I use the 200C on most of our pets. Most of my patrol guys will use a 1900 hands-free, 1900S hands-free, and then I use the ball popper pretty much daily with all of our detection dogs for imprinting on our box protocols. So hit them up at Dogtra Official on Instagram and Facebook, and then you've got dogtra.com. And when you go there, if you use the discount code WDR10, they give you 10% off a single item over $200. So if you're looking at a 1900S or that Ball Popper Pro or one of those things, it'll knock a substantial chunk off there. So hit them up, Dogtra.com, WDR10.
So everybody knows that Ted and I not only train police dogs, we train pet dogs, right? We train dogs. So it's why our relationship with Ray Allen Manufacturing is so important. These guys have been doing this so long. They knew and they understand that dogs are dogs, and it's not just working dog people that need things for their dog and dog training. So you go to rayallen.com. They have everything dog related that you need. Anything that when it comes to dogs, pet dogs, your pet, training dogs, police dogs, dogs you're training for other departments, anything you need, rayallen.com. They've got it. You can get on there. So if you're ordering stuff for police dogs, and if you have a pet side, you can get it all in one, man. They ship it out. Got a nice big box full of a whole bunch of stuff. There's nothing better than getting a big box of dog training stuff in the mail. They also are great to us, and they offer a discount code Working Dog Radio, all capital letters, Working Dog Radio, for 10% off. Check them out, rayallen.com. Great people. Ted and I use them every day.
Super excited to have American Aluminum Accessories on board with us here at the podcast. These guys manufacture a wide variety of products, from high quality cam locker toolboxes to an extensive line of products designed to meet the ever-changing needs of the law enforcement community. Around 1992, due to the demand for safe and secure transport for a local law enforcement agency's Canine unit, they introduced the very first in-vehicle Easy Rider Canine container. So it was basically what we now call just our inserts. They have continuously grown and expanded the products, catering to the needs and the wants of their valued customers and high-profile clientele, and catering specifically to law enforcement. Over the years, as the needs have changed for law enforcement, they've evolved and expanded the products to include inmate transport systems, the canine training aids, which I use quite a bit of, canine inserts. Every one of my guys has one of those things. And if you're not even have to be in law enforcement, I have several friends that are civilians that work lots of dogs that have the inserts put into their cars too. So if you got one that fits, you can do it. They also do contraband and animal control systems, just to name a few. So be sure to hit them up. The website is Easy Rider Online. So that's the letter E, the letter Z as in zebra, rideronline.com. If you're looking for them on Instagram and Facebook, it's American Aluminum Accessories. Feel free to hit them up there too.
So our first and oldest sponsor that's been with us from the beginning is Arno out at ALM, out there in Las Vegas area. Arno is a great dude. He makes great stuff for police work and sport work, suits, tugs. I'm telling you right now, his tugs are the best in the business. You can't get any better. Multiple colors. I buy boxes of them from him and give them out to everybody. I've got a bite suit from him. Love it. I've had it for a little over 3 years, and it's holding up like a champ. Ted's got a suit that he's had forever from ALM. We wouldn't go anywhere else, man. We love it. Arno is such a good dude. His ALMK9equipment.com is the website. Get on there. He's got pre-made suits. He can do custom suits based on your measurements. He's got stuff already made up. If you kind of get a kind of generic large size, maybe for everybody, the colors he has, man, is really cool. He can put a lot of stuff on those suits. Check him out. ALMK9equipment.com and use the discount code WD Radio for 10% off.
Running a kennel is one of those things that I always worry about, is cleanliness and safety of dogs. And it seems like it's an ever-changing issue, being able to house dogs and move things around, everything else. So the guys at Horizon Structure make this as easy as possible. Literally, the only thing you have to do is have water and power hookups, and they deliver it, and you can put dogs in that day. And it comes on a trailer. They just drop it off. You plug it in, put dogs in it, and you're ready to rock. You keep them clean, you keep them safe, you keep them cool in the summer and warm in the wintertime. And it's completely custom. You can go complete mild to wild. I've seen some that were stainless steel all the way from top to bottom on the inside. And then I've seen some for a bulldog breeder that, had smaller gates because those things can't jump. So if you reach out to them, They're sitting there waiting for you to call and help you through the custom design process. They have everything from 2-dog ones up to, I want to say like 18 or 20. It's a lot of, you can put a lot of dogs, indoor, outdoor runs. So anything you've ever dreamed of, they've got it, or have done it, or can do it. So they've taken all the guesswork out of building it. Everything is pre-done to your specifications and it's assembled, dropped off, boom, you're ready to rock. Things are amazing. Rigney has one. We've had him on the show a couple of times. Go check out his Instagram, and you can see he's posted it up there before. Go look Horizon up at Horizon Structures, spelled out. On the internet, it's horizonstructures.com, and you're going to look for the link in there that says commercial dog kennels, or give them a call, 888-447-4337. They'd love to talk to you and get you started on the way.
All right, we are back with Marshall and Hurricane peaced out. He'd had enough. He's done with the interview. He took his call and he was like, I'm out, dude. So we were just talking about the fence jumping incident and how we decided to go to Canine. But after the fact that, part of what brings us back to this whole thing is you were just starting this process when you were on last time, like, I don't know, 18 months ago. It was a couple of years ago. And so we're having you back to talk about it. So first I want to talk about, and we talked a little bit about at the beginning, like the process for getting a 501. Everybody's like, oh, we're just going to do it. And you said your fiance did it, correct? So, like, she did most of the work.
Yeah, my fiance did all of the work. I mean, I do this. I'm good for an hour and a half, but the actual admin is obviously not my thing. I'm a canine handler. That's kind of where it ends. That was over a year of back and forth paperwork and emails. I mean, I wouldn't want to discourage anyone from doing it, but it was a ton of work. It's not that you get denied over and over. It's you just, more questions, more follow-up, and that's why we wanted it so much. A lot of things we were doing for other charities, and as we're doing this, I'm thinking I have to use this for good. Kind of what spawned it all was he received the Top Dog Award at the Animal Medical Center in New York. That's, in my opinion, the best animal hospital in the country, if not the world. They gave him free medical for life. The rest of the Secret Service dogs don't have that. That didn't feel right. I was like, if I'm going to keep doing these appearances and these things, it's the perfect platform to talk about the dog. So, the 501c3 just took years and years, starting it, and then, get discouraged, put it on hold. Life happens. You have to stay with it. And it is just a lot of administrative work, but it's all worth it now. I also didn't put in the work, so it's easy for me to say it's worth it. Yeah. She spent a year and a half on her computer and on her phone and emailing and all, but I was talking about it for years, and I kind of knew she was putting the time in, but she pretty much, I came home from one day from work, and I was like, man, we got to get this 501c3 launched. And finally, she was like, I did it. I didn't want to watch you let your dream pass by or, be delayed any longer. She's like, I finally did it. I got us approved. We're ready to rock. And then it was like, all right, now what's the plan? We just started it with, don't have prior businesses, don't have any experience in that. I just knew I have a dog and a platform and a perfect story to kick it off. So I'm going to make it work. And to this day, we're still all volunteer, no paid employees. Everyone's willing to step up and help out. We have an event. We have so many volunteers. They can't even all help. We just tell half of them just to come and hang out. So everyone's super supportive. But yeah, we're learning every day. I never read a book on how to start a charity or how to keep it going. So other charities will actually help us out and hit us up and say, hey, you're doing this. Are you aware that if you do X, Y, Z, it can increase donations or get you more support, or there's volunteer people for legal, tax purposes. There's all kinds of different avenues. So every day we kind of learn something else.
So we're going to say this several times. We're going to put in the show notes, but give everybody the website.
So the website's K9HurricanesHeroes.org. And right when you go there, it has the ways you can donate. We also, on his Instagram, Facebook, K9 Hurricane, there's actually donation links that make it super simple and can take you right there as well. But yep, 501c3, all volunteer, no paid employees. So the money gets to the pups. So what we actually did was we work with Paws of Honor, which is another charity that they're based out of here, but they're all over the country now, and I believe starting to move all over the world. They have a veterinary care program where you can actually go on and select the specific dogs you want to sponsor. So that's been amazing. So we raise a certain amount of money, and then we work with them. We go to all their events as well. They have amazing events. They have a golf outing coming up soon. We can pick. You can go right on their website too, at Paws of Honor. They actually have the list of pups, and one will have like the Hurricane Heroes stamp on, like sponsored by Hurricane Heroes or whatever other charity picks it up. And we now it makes you more motivated to want to do more, because it's when originally we were just raising a certain amount of money and then getting it to wherever we needed to get it. Now you see this list of dogs that are on the waiting list, so that's what keeps me motivated. Tonight 8:30, like, oh, do I want to go to bed early? It's like, no, this is just one more avenue that I can reach some more people, let them know about the retired dogs. So it motivates me and keeps me going too as well, to get the word out and to use platforms like what you guys have here. And we read all your comments and all that stuff. You have some like amazing followers, and you have a great group that follows you guys. So this is definitely something I would never pass up on, for sure.
Do they sell that merch? Do they sell that shirts on your website?
Oh, yeah. So
Look at that.
These are just things we were learning. So it's the Hurricane Heroes. This one is at In Shane Design. So again, all these people offering to help us out. We met a couple of YouTubers up in Pennsylvania. Street Speed 717. He's got over 1 million subscribers to his YouTube channel, and I had the Hurricane shirt on and was telling him about it, and he's like, "You want to be in one of my videos?" And I'm like,
"Damn,
absolutely." Yeah. So just when it's about charity and dogs, like, nobody tells you no. It's like, it makes it super easy for me. I'm not, it's not like I'm trying to sell something or do anything. It's like, oh, I love dogs, and even if you're selling dog stuff, I'd buy that as well. But the fact that it's a charity for retired dogs, and I always have him with me because we go everywhere together. So they, same thing, got me on their website. They do all our shirts. And same thing, we take all the proceeds from this, and it goes right into the charity as well. And we're just, so many people are willing to help us out. Even your sponsors, I've known while I was working, nothing that came after. Hurricane's first kit and leash, any muzzle, anything he ever had, was Ray Allen from my first day out of Canine school. So they're huge supporters, and his new Black Rifle kit is Ray Allen as well. So Black Rifle hit me up and said they wanted to get Hurricane a brand new kit, and what was the best one to get? And I was like, get a Ray Allen kit. That's what he's always had. And the Kinetic Dog Food, I've been feeding him for years and years and years. They came out and spoke to us, Secret Service, and gave us a whole nutrition class and everything. So everyone you guys are with, I've been with since the beginning, before all this happened. So it's great to see when all these things come together and everyone's linked up with the right people and the right companies. It's just especially Kinetic. We do events with them every time Dave and Debbie are in town. We meet them for dinner and drinks. So we stay close with all these people. So they're super supportive of anything we need. They're always there to take care of us and look out for the charity. So we just have so many people in our corner. You start to feel bad after a while. You feel like you're saying thank you all the time. But yeah, we're super fortunate, for sure.
Yeah, Ted and I, when we had Dave on the podcast from Kinetic, we were at his house in his basement.
Oh, yeah.
When we recorded. Dude, listen, that dude puts on a spread. We had some food at that dude's house. It was really good.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been in the basement. I've been in the house.
Did you go down the staircase?
I sure did. It's like
the fucking
spiral.
spiral.
You just kind of just spin,
you
kind of just step and spin, and it's like a downward elevator almost. Yeah.
We had some meat. That dude had some meat at his house.
Yeah, for sure.
Like sweating meat, that type. It was
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Good people.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I
for
learned a lot. I
sure.
tell you what, if you guys go back and listen to the episode, Ted and I could speak that I speak for both of us. I think I learned a lot, man, a lot from that episode with him, not just about Kinetic, but about issues your dog are having and how it's related to food. And you know, you just change what the dog is eating, how you can see differences in their coat and their skin and the itching and little things that they're having. It was really good. I like that episode a lot.
Yeah, and I heard that one, and that was kind of, I think I was in maybe 2 years, and we were just, I can't remember what it was at the time. We were just feeding them, the same generic food, and I guess Dave was connected with somebody in the Secret Service and was like, "Hey, I'm not selling anything. Just want to give you guys a nutrition class." And I mean, I can't speak for everyone else, but I remember sitting in there and just being blown away. They put up just all the different dog foods, how to read ingredients, what's in them, and you think about the amount of money you spend on these dogs. I mean, Hurricane's teeth are titanium. The second tooth breaks, cap it, root canal. You put all that money into them, but then for the first probably 2 years, I never thought about the dog food. So,
Yeah.
That wasn't a pitch or anything. I was just sold. I'm switching to them, and yeah, we've been friends ever since. I think that must have been 2013, maybe 2014, and now. Coincidentally, they just did a second documentary on Hurricane on Unleashed. I don't know if you guys have seen those yet. So It came out Friday night. This was kind of like what I did with you guys. I did one about 2 years ago on his story and being out in DC, but on Unleashed K9 TV, which is Kinetic, helps produce them and does all those episodes. So we just did a follow-up one, and they actually sent all their people to the Capitol, filmed, got all the pictures. So it came out Friday, and then it should be out again, but it has all the live footage of the ceremony and the event. So yeah, it was, I got to watch it on Friday, and it was just like being there all over again. So great when all these things are captured and you don't have to worry about taking pictures and making sure you get everything because somebody else is doing it.
So when so we're having fundraisers, we're selling merch. We got, people coming in. We're helping each other. Other organizations we're going in. What is the mission for Hurricane's Heroes?
So it is right now. We are strictly just providing medical care to retired, whatever type of working, police, military. We cover all the bills when we working with that Paul's of Honor veterinary care program that I was telling you about. So the handler is completely out of the equation as far as the bills are concerned. You apply to the program, they pick up the dog gets sponsored, and you are you as the handler are completely removed. You take the dog to the vet, you don't even see the bills. So it's watching. I talked about this before, but just watching the process of these retired dogs, that they don't retire out of because they're healthy. There's usually something there, pre-existing condition or something that comes to the surface, or just that random vet visit when they're like, "Hey, your dog, I know he looks completely fine. He actually has cancer," and then it's the dog obviously retires, and that burden goes to the handler. Some people are in a situation where they can afford to pay the bills, but I was keeping track for a while, but he's up to like $60,000 in medical since he has retired. So obviously he retired young, so he's been retired 6 years. You think about $10,000 a year for a dog, whether it's surgery, dental. It's not actually that much when you think about it, but it adds up. And if you have, if you're not able to make those decisions, you have to put yourself in when they kind of give you the odds game, like, hey, we could probably treat this cancer and we can try a bunch of different things. It could be $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, and it might extend the dog's life a couple months. So with this charity and the way we do things, you don't have to make that decision. You don't have to say, I don't have $20,000 to put to vet bills. Just make them comfortable, and we'll just get them as long as you can. So that's why I'm so passionate about it. We get these calls from these handlers afterward, these super heartfelt emails. dog's my best friend. It's my whole life. It's now a part of the family, the kids. We're able to get, a couple more years than we thought we would have, just because we're in a tough financial, spot as a family. And now we don't have to, there's one less bill to have to worry about.
Yeah. No offense, Ted. If I was responsible for your medical care and it was $60,000, I don't know, man. That last surgery, I mean, can you cover? No.
You're like, if you win $1 million and your sibling needs an eye replacement for 900,000, I'd be like, she's been able to see long enough.
No, she can walk in a circle. She's all right.
Yeah,
she's good. So, have you found so far, based on where you're at and everything, so far, has it been a regional thing, or are you getting guys from all over the country reaching out?
Oh no, we're getting people from all over the country. So that's, there's just not enough hours in the day. But when we go and we pick these specific dogs, I'm trying to pick, obviously, I'm biased, so I took a lot of Secret Service dogs first, because that's where we came from, and that was originally what I wanted to do. But now, since I'm traveling so much, I'm trying to pick up dogs in the major cities. So we have a dog from Las Vegas, a dog from Arizona. So if I'm traveling, this is kind of the future vision that I have, but I want to go out and meet the handlers and do a follow-up, do videos, stuff for social media. This is, and it's hard because a lot of the handlers are still working, so that, their PD might not allow them to be in something, but I could still, if the dogs are tired, maybe do it with the families. This is kind of the avenue, because we were growing so quick, we're just picking up some Secret Service dogs here and there. And now we're really expanding. So I'm trying to almost grab some dogs in each major city. So if I'm ever there and passing through, same thing, hit up the handler. Hey, I'm going to be in your town. We sponsor your dog. I'd love to come by, do a video, do something for social media, do an interview, just go over your dog, how long it's been retired, just how much some of the medical bills have been that, we've been able to cover, tell that story, and when we do these things, local news wants to cover it as well, so that's kind of the route we're going to take. So yeah, I'm trying to be nationwide for sure. I'm trying to pretty much grab a dog in every major city right now. And then just the more we raise, the more dogs we can pick up.
So a lot of guys, and I can tell you from my experience as a handler and having had retired dogs, a lot of guys don't know that. They don't know that there are organizations. A lot of them, there weren't organizations, my old unit, we belonged to a thing called the Police Canine Association, and PK9A is a 501c3 fundraiser, and they'll give some money to each guy who's got a retired dog. It helps with the basics throughout the year, but it's not, I mean, they've helped out with some costs, but it's, there's 38, 39 guys in there. It's limited on all that they can pay for. And if you've ever been had to take your dog to the emergency vet or something at night, they come out with a sheet with how much it's going to cost and make you make decisions, which is pretty tough. So if I'm a canine handler and I got a retired guy in Kalispell, Montana, and I'm way out in the middle of the mountains and nowhere, how do I, and I'm drowning in with my buddy, my retired dog, and the medical bills are adding up because he tore an ACL and then his teeth, dental problems, all that. How do I get in your program? How do I reach out to you?
Sure. So you'll go to paulsofhonor.org. They have a full application process. So that was why it was so great to work with them. They have the administrative stuff down. I like doing this, being out there talking, doing stuff with Hurricane, doing podcasts and things like that. But the administrative piece was hard. So meeting them, it was like, oh, perfect. They have the setup. So yeah, you're a handler. You'll go right on the website, and you'll just plug in the criteria. Obviously, they're strict. You do have to meet the criteria, what police department you worked with, when the dog worked, just to verify, your service, whether police, military, whatever it would be, and then the dog's service as well, and that you have formally adopted the dog. And I don't know the exact specifics, so I don't want to quote on the page, but you'll get accepted into their program. And once you do, you'll go right up. Your dog will go right on their website, and it'll say, Buffalo PD dog Sparky, retired, looking for a sponsor. And from there, we'll either go on and pick up the dogs directly, and we'll reach out to Paws of Honor and say, we want these 10 dogs. And then people who do hit us up directly and say, just so you know, we've applied to Paws of Honor. We're on the list. Check us out. Look at our dog. Here's his Instagram page, or here's some family photos at work, and back at the house. And then, we've picked up a lot of dogs that way for people telling us they've been in the program and they're waiting to get picked up, or they've just came to us directly. Hey, would you sponsor our dog? And once we, have that connection with them, and obviously if we have the money to do it, we'll tell them to apply, and we'll, in that case, we'll be waiting for them to pop up. So that's what I'm saying. Like every day, if there's an opportunity, if I drive, stay up late, wake up early, like I can't miss out on them. This is, just like from last time, it gets awareness out there. It helps us raise more money, and that's just another dog that I can pick up and sponsor.
Yeah, and I can tell. First of all, there's a theme. You hate admin stuff, and I get it.
Yep.
I see the scabs on your knuckles. Trust me, we know what drags on the ground with guys. But I can tell too with you, the anxiety. What would get me, and this is probably the same with you, is the anxiety of seeing the dog's name up there and thinking you're racing against the clock. You know what I mean? And we got to get things going so I can grab that dog. I need to sponsor that dog. I need to sponsor that dog. And I would always feel myself pressure. So guys like you are out there doing it, man. A lot of people couldn't handle that. Clicking on that website, it would drive them nuts.
Yeah. And, that's hard to speak about, but we've had ones that didn't even make it, and that is terrible. I mean, you don't even know the handler. A lot of times it's the handler's husband or wife, because the handler's either still in the military and deployed with another dog, and they have that dog at home, or a police officer's husband or wife is there, so they're writing us. But we've had a couple actually that, while talking to us, just the dog didn't even make it to the first vet visit. Obviously dog has cancer, especially with the Malinois. Like, you cannot tell when something's wrong with these dogs. They don't give you any freaking signal or sign that they're hurt or sick. And it's like, by the time the dog retires, depending on how far along, whatever the issue is, we've had people that have actually, we've reached out and be like, hey, we saw you on there. We're actually ready to pick you up. And they're like, and this is quick too. And they're like, this is super hard for us, but yeah, the dog actually passed away last night. It only made it a couple weeks after retirement. And those things are like, it's horrible.
Man,
you don't know the people, you don't know the dog, but you have that connection. You can relate, to exactly what they're going through, because you've watched, people in your unit go through the same thing. You've watched these dogs pass away or go through this whole process. So now I feel obligated every day to just take time out, put it into the charity, not miss anything. It's just not enough hours in the day,
Damn.
Yeah, I can see that. Right. We would struggle, Ted's recently, and if you train enough dogs, man, in your care, you're going to be around when those dogs are gone. Of course, the dogs never just die. They oftentimes make you make the decisions and things like that, which are terrible. But I think, Ted, you've had a few in the last couple of years that you trained that you hadn't even seen in a while that you found out.
Yeah, we've had several kind of pass away, and like one happened just like Marshall just mentioned. Like, he was, they retired, and he was kind of getting a little like sore, and he was getting a little, and I mean, shit, he was like 10, and so they decided to go ahead and let him retire, and he died like 14 days or 16 days or something after, and just like they woke up and he was just gone, and like he passed away in his sleep. I was like, well, I mean, so nothing makes me happier than hearing that they get to be like, we just had one retire in a city near here. There's a big ass German Shepherd, And the handler got a promotion, and he was only like, dog's like 9 or something. So, I mean, he probably needed to retire anyway. But he's like hanging out with the kids, and the wife's giving him fucking beef jerky, and you know, he gets to do like stupid shit now. He's doing like dog stuff, and I always like seeing that. Just I hate when we have to retire them, and like they end up either end up in a pawn in the admin game, which I can't stand that. And which there's some stories that I'm unwilling to tell on the air about that, and about how we may or may not have intervened. And then also like when they just die in service because like they didn't see it, like Marshall just said, you don't recognize it. So that's one thing that I always tell my guys. I'm like, they need a vet visit twice a year, like easily, like biannual, two times a year easily. Especially when they start getting older. But yeah, we've had a couple die recently, which sucks. But I mean,
I was a cop for a long time, man, and I can tell you I couldn't have afforded big, huge, giant vet bills on my retired dogs. My first dog, Gina, retired early because she was a great pet, and that was about it. But we had her for a long time, and she stayed relatively healthy. Willie, my second dog, when he retired, he went back with the first handler. That was kind of the agreement that we had. My last dog retired. He had another handler. He retired and lived a long time. He just passed away last year. But all the medical stuff you're talking about, listen, cops they're just not making that much money. You know, maybe they're doing pretty good, but 60,000 or something like that, there's no way. So it's so great that there's people like you guys out there, and that your other organizations you're tied in with that are doing that.
Yeah, just him. I mean, people forget about the dental too, right? So it's not like that stuff is expensive because the dogs need to be put under. So you're talking anesthesiologist, it's a surgery. He has the dental. He has all kinds of gum problems, so his teeth almost rot down into the gum where they have to be extracted, or they said it's an extreme pain. So he's probably been under, I'd say 8 to 10 times for dental surgeries, and those are all day. They require a full team. Those are a couple $1,000s each time just there, and just get pulling teeth. That's just his mouth, not counting, all the rest of his body, checkups, medicine, all those things.
I literally just had a dog crowned last week or 10 days ago. And the DI that does it here in Tulsa, he's a DDS and a DVM, and he's more expensive than both. Like when I got the bill and they gave me the quote, I was like, fuck, I only need to do one. And they're like, yeah, that's the price for one. I'm like, God, okay. I mean, it had to be done. Like, there's nothing I could do about it. I'm just like, okay, I mean, sure, go ahead. Like, I guess I don't really have an option. So yeah, it is not cheap, like at all. I mean, more than $3,000 for a tooth. So all when it's all said and done. So yeah.
Showing you the estimate's tough, man. That's tough when they have to do that. But I mean, granted, they're veterinarians, they're helping dogs and everything, but they are in a business, and I get that. But that has to suck the guy who comes out and says, okay, and your dog's in the back, right? Already in the back, and here's the price list. Do you want, undercoating and rust proofing, or do you want package B that's nothing, or that type of stuff? And so that gets tough. But so
his partner's actually going through now. Jordan, the other dog from that incident, who they went through basic training together with, and I went through with the handler. So that dog now has brain cancer. It's definitely getting towards the end. It kind of re-stirred up all this stuff again. The handler recently reached out to me, and he's also that Jordan, the other Secret Service dog from that 2014 incident. He's sponsored through the Paws of Honor Veterinary Care Program, so they're taking care of him now, so he can he can just take the dog to the vet, do what he got. It's like, it's hard enough, you go, that dog's been retired a while too, but dog has brain cancer. Okay. You can at least go and do your visits in those last couple months that they have, which now, I think it's day to day, honestly, just when that day comes. So that kind of being able to know that I'm doing that, and I'm still, friends with the agent who has the dogs. So he kind of updates me on a lot, but it's also hard to talk about. So we don't like get into it too much. He's got a bunch of kids, dogs, all the kids are, obsessed with the dog. So it's part of the family. Obviously it's been with him for a while. So, that's the stuff that keeps me motivated, right? Like knowing that it's like at least making it easier for him than on top of all that, and his kid's crying, the dog's frail now, and you can tell it's getting close to that day. At least he doesn't have to worry, have separate conversations with his wife about how are we going to pay for this? How are we going to, go about it? So it's where I draw the, motivation from, to just keep trying to get this thing as big as I can, and pick up as many dogs as possible to, help out all the brothers and sister canines that are all, all went through it together.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a noble thing you guys are doing. So pawsofhonor.org. If you're a guy who has got the retired dog and you need help and you want to get your dog on there, check it out. I just on the website. It's a very well put together website. It looks pretty easy to navigate through. But like you said, don't be some sort of scumbag. You got to be the right, fill the shit out. Don't be trying to make up some bullshit to try to get on there. They're going to catch it. So pawsofhonor.org. And if you want to help out Marshall and his fundraising endeavors, K9 Hurricanes with an S, guys, hurricanesheroes.org. Get on there. You can donate on there. You can buy some swag. I'm going to get one of them T-shirts tonight. I'm going to get on there and get it.
All right.
Mine won't fit as well as that, but it'll be close. It'll be close. I have tattoos. I got that at least. So.
All right. Oh yeah. It's for you. Got to have the canine. This goes with it, I'm sure.
Right.
You got any dog ones on there?
It hides all the fucking scars. Yeah, that's. I mean,
I have I got a whole suit, so my parts of my stomach and chest have dog stuff on there, of course. So, and then get on there. Talk about real quick. Tell everybody your social media where you're at, because I know you can donate on there as well.
Yep. So Instagram, Facebook, you say K9, letter K, number 9, and then Hurricane. So the same thing, Instagram, Facebook, they got these great options where you can just have a donate button right on there. So same thing at all. It all gets to the same place. So just whatever avenue is easiest for people. Some people, it depends the age group. Everything's different now. So some people are like, I have to go to a website. Like, well, now, you can just go to Instagram. Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
So you gotta stay current. Make sure you're not missing out on any donations. I mean, some people still mail checks to the PO box that's on the website, and other people are like, I don't have checks. So it's just the different age groups. Donate different ways. You got to make sure you're available to everyone, so you don't miss out on any of the donations coming in. That's just another dog that could prevent you. But same thing, we didn't have a PO box at first because we weren't even thinking people be mailing in money or doing things like that. So the first people was like, well, I don't have social media and I don't really use the computer that much. Like, do you have a PO box we can mail something to? Or so it's just stuff learning. Don't miss out on anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny I tried a move that these young girls are doing on my Instagram. I put my Venmo name on there. Nobody sent me a fucking not a dime. I tried for about a week.
Oh my god,
not a dime.
Not a dime. Nobody.
I was like, let's see. It seems to work for some people.
Yeah.
So
I'm not even gonna fucking go
right.
Yeah, I'm not going there either.
No, I'm not touching.
I tried. It was worth a shot.
I've done good so far. I'm not going to end on a bad
we'll leave it
because I have a lot of funny things going through my head right now.
Right.
Keep
I
them to
tried. It was
myself.
worth a shot. Didn't work. So, and again, K9 Hurricanesheroes.org. Ted, where are you at?
Ted _Summers on Instagram. Torchlight K9, letter K number 9, Torchlight Pets. That's where we post all the stuff. We had a 3-pound Yorkie that these guys were doing like crazy recalls with, and taught it to do all kinds of crazy shit. And then HRD Police K9. We got some new dates for those. It'll be up here pretty quick to finish out the rest of the year for decoy camps and for the regular HRD center things. We've got a couple of closed seminars too, which won't be posted. But and then working_dog_radio for the podcast. But yeah, that's it. That's where I'm at. But yeah,
Yep.
man.
I'm Van S K9 on Instagram. That's all you really need to do is just go to Instagram, Van S K9, because it's attached to my Facebook, so it's all the same stuff. Ted and I will be at Blue Line instructing. We will also have a booth. We're going to be doing some interviews there, getting some content. We'll probably get a couple months worth of interviews, I would think there.
Yes.
They're giving us a room to do it, and it's cool, man. When we do in person, when Ted and I are together and we have the guests there, it's always really good. We just got to figure out the camera situation to get.
Yeah, Brian's gonna help us out.
Yeah, Brian. I think I don't know. Brian might be rooming with me. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see. I don't know what's happening, but we'll be in Blue Line in Pittsburgh. That's coming up, man. That's like less than a month. That's a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then Ted and I are also teaching at HITS again this year. I shouldn't say again. We're teaching at HITS this year. And we'll also have a booth there. So when you see the booth, stop by, hang out. Do not buy me beers and shots. I am currently on a. You guys are trying to get me drunk at like noon. I'm like, motherfucker. But I'm currently on a no drinking binge for a while here, just for medical stuff. A little bit of COVID leftover stuff messing with my liver. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna drink for a little bit. So Don't come over and give me a shot of Jameson or some shit. I appreciate it. So anyways, Marshall, it's been great having you on again, man.
Yeah.
And the old man too over there.
Yeah, I feel bad. I'm going to pick him back up, but he's out cold. But no, you guys are the first podcast I ever did. So thanks for having me back. I know you said you would, and I'm super appreciative. And I hope in 2 more years I have a ton more stuff to talk about. And I'll come back again.
Yeah. You probably win some more awards and be in like some, I don't know, some other foreign country's parliament. It's 7,000 years old.
So yeah, that's next, right? Where to go from there? Maybe Rome. We'll get
Rome. Yeah, Rome should be good.
Go to the fucking
Vatican. You could be in the Vatican.
There you go.
There you go.
St. Peter's Basilica. There you go.
Right.
Get the fucking Pope to give him an award.
If anyone's listening and they have any hooks in Rome or with the government or the church, reach out. We're available. We travel.
They'll travel. Trust me. We'll get there. So
there you go.
All right, boys. Thanks. I appreciate it. Great episode. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.